Okay, welcome back to week 3 of the Day After podcast.
And oh boy,
Uh,
did we,
this
that was an
that
episode.
was an episode that I did not see coming.
Yeah, that one, you know, I feel like it was a great episode because I know these are actual people, but not characters, but like
Yeah.
great, character development from certain people.
hmm
And, uh, poor Vince.
Yeah, Vince. I really could not have seen this coming.
Like, legit, when it happened, when I saw his name, I'm like, oh crap, like, I got wide eyed and everything.
Yeah.
I was like,
I thought going in, Tom was going home. Like I thought, like they laid it out for Tom to go home. 'Cause
Okay.
it seemed like Girls' Alliance was still strong, even though Chris was clearly at the bottom of that Girls' Alliance. It
Yeah.
seemed like they weren't going to get rid of her. She was just going to be the scapegoat in case anything went wrong.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, it did seem like, because the thing about a, alliance of five, you need like a six and a seven.
Yeah.
And so Vince seemed like the kind of person that would be a great sixth or seventh because he seemed pretty loyal to, the girls. The guys, only came to him because they were like, oh man, the girls are going to come after us.
Yeah, so here's my whole thing on why it was a good move to get rid of Vince now for them. If they got rid of either Tom, Dean, or Aaron, the rest of that guys group would be extremely mad at them for the remainder of the game. They would literally burn bridges on day 8.
True.
Whereas Vince has slight connections with the girls and slight connections with the guys, but no strong bonds. And by getting rid of that person, you have no one on your tribe that is angry. Plus, he has an idol.
Yeah. And
But,
also, good thing to like Elizabeth's game, she did say she was like he could potentially have an idol when he comes back and stuff.
Mhm.
It was smart for her to not only be like, oh hey, he might come back with an idol, he's clearly a threat.
Mhm.
She also preserves the secret of Island of the Idols,
Yes.
which is something that further down the line everyone is going to know.
Yeah.
But she's playing it smart and wanting to, wait till the right moment.
My guess is by the merge, merge feast or anything, they're probably going to go to the Island of the Idols and have their feast with Boston Rob and Sandra.
That'd be interesting, and the reward is getting an advantage or getting some tips and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they might have a challenge there. Where they have to face Boston Rob in a challenge.
That
would be something.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, he'll be the gatekeeper even more. Yeah.
He loves doing that.
Yeah. So let's get into it. What was the first thing that happened on this week's episode?
Okay, so after tribal council and stuff, everyone comes back, and then Sheehan, he was, trying to do damage control with, Jamal and Jack, and which he very much wanted to keep those two, still around.
In his pocket.
Yeah, but Jamal just was not having it.
No, not at all.
He was salty that his game, he kind of got, he kind of became, what's the right word? He kind of got embarrassed up there, because he was like, yeah, I don't need to play so hard now. Oh no, my closest ally just got voted out.
Yeah.
And so he looks kind of foolish in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a bit vengeful right now.
Yeah, and Jack's just like, yeah, whatever, I'll still work with you.
Yeah.
It's very just like, okay.
I mean, if it looks like you're on the bottom,
yeah, I think
it's okay to be.
I think that's the right move. Jamal's being angry is the wrong move.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I thought for sure that he was going to be humbled by this experience and be more like, okay, I need to get my act together, which he ends up playing harder in this episode as well.
Definitely.
But at the same time, he might have been playing a little too hard. Because now he has a new target on his back.
Yeah, he does. Thankfully, he didn't have to go to tribal council.
Yeah.
But I feel like definitely further down the line for the purple team, there's going to be some conflict.
Yeah. So let's go through this train of voting groups kind of that happened. So first off, there's Dan, who was like, we got to get rid of Nora for tribe harmony.
Yeah.
So he talked to some people, including Jamal, and Jamal was like, "No, I'm not gonna follow him, so I'm gonna target Dan."
Yeah.
And then he got Tommy, and then Tommy's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna target Jamal."
Yeah, it's like Jamal, lay low.
Yeah.
It's like, granted, I still think Nora should have went home last episode. Rest in peace, Molly. But
I enjoy Nora and Jason so much.
but
So.
it's like, right now, Jamal, your best thing to do is lay low and prove
Yeah.
loyalty, because there could be a potential switch up further down the line.
Yeah.
So try and get in tight with these guys, or at least make them think that you're tight with them, in order to blindside them later.
Yeah, I always think that you should make those big moves when you're in the majority and not necessarily in the minority, unless you know that you're the next one getting voted off.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was going to be the next one voted off.
But
now he's making it, so he's the next one voted off.
I mean, I'm sure you're happy because Nora's, probably going to last another tribal.
Yeah, she's my entrepreneur right there.
Yeah.
She's making it to the day 39.
We'll see.
It's going to be her, Jason, and Dean. Imagine that final three.
Dean.
Dean.
Oh, we'll get to Dean in a moment. But
Finally. I think this might have been his first confessional. Maybe he had one in the first episode.
This is the first time other than our breakdown, where I actually noticed him.
Yeah, I know. He has not been on our screen.
Well, I mean, it's with 20 plus people and,
yeah,
trying to make sure, especially with the people that are voting on, he hasn't been on the chopping block yet. So,
yeah.
Obviously you kind of give the screen time towards
but
the
he
other
did
groups.
have the funniest moment, in my opinion, of this episode.
Which is when, Vince getting chosen for Island of the Idols.
Yes.
And then, everyone was just having a meeting afterwards, all right, we'll just split the votes. But everyone is there. Do you really want to further that conversation, man?
Yeah, and what was crazy is that plan still went through, even though one of them knew that they were going to get votes.
It's actually, he didn't use that, though. It was his plan, but he didn't follow through with it.
Yeah.
But the girls were like, I'm wondering what Karishma, we'll talk about later. Let's just talk about her, because I don't know about you, but, also later on, this was a horrible episode.
Yeah, so she was my winner pick.
For crap player.
Yeah.
Same.
But after this episode, I don't know if that's happening now.
You see, with her, it's sometimes if you're the quiet one, or there's always going to be people talking more and stuff like that. That's fine as long as you know you're good with them. I'm honestly surprised, because since she is a lawyer, I would figure she would, be a bit more cool, calm, collective.
But she was all emotions this episode.
Yeah, though I will admit, when she cut herself, and I'm not gonna lie, when she saw a bone, I was like, that could have easily been a thing of rice.
Yeah.
And she just saw white and freaked out.
Yeah, I didn't see any bone. Admittedly, they might have just tried to get a good camera shot that didn't have that, so it's not...
And then, I can understand no one was really coming over, mostly because they're eating.
Yeah.
Food is food. We'll pay attention to you once we're done.
I still think that there should have been at least a little bit hey,
are you okay?
Yeah, are you okay? And then maybe someone makes sure medical comes in.
Yeah,
at least you don't need to have the whole tribe suddenly drop everything they're doing and be
just
there.
One person.
But I think at least someone should have stepped up and been
it was a little weird.
Yeah, because they can still eat and make sure that she's okay and has medical come. You can still do that.
Could have been. I'm wondering if it was an edit thing.
Yeah. Who knows? Because it seemed very weird.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Is no one just going to go over?
It's very possible that people did help her and everything, but she had a confessional, and she thought no one was helping her or anything, and because of that, they thought it would be weird. I don't know. It could be anything.
But, and I think that furthered her paranoia.
Yeah.
But, the thing, it was kind of the same thing with Elaine, where... granted, Elaine had, two allies, or, two different kind of alliances.
Yeah.
Charisma was a part of, the all-female alliance, and they seem pretty, strong to that, and I think this episode even furthers that point.
Yeah.
That, I feel like she didn't have to worry that, all the targets that were put on her were because she just got in her head and let the fear take over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I want to make a quick shout out that Elaine is yet again very not that visible after her amazing first episode where she was the focal point.
Yeah. I feel like, because Charisma took over the thing of like, oh, I'm going home, oh, I'm going home, and with Vince and stuff, further down the line, we'll have time for it.
Yeah, and also, just in general, I'd say that the Lairo tribe has less gameplay going on, just because that majority girls alliance is going on, and they're kind of just steamrolling right now.
Yeah.
Whereas the Volkai, it's mad chaos.
Still kind of up in the air.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I'm excited for when they Yoda Tribal counts next, not so much Lairo.
Lairo, it could be interesting. Who knows? But
I think that if we get to the merge and Lairo has, like, they get control of the merge, it's going to be a Pagonging, where they just take out Volkai left, right here.
Potentially. Also, I don't know, like, if the Girls Alliance could, merge with whoever's left on Volkai, female-wise, maybe they could join forces, but if you see in a tight alliance of 5, like, if I was, let's say, Tom and Dean are the only guys left on that tribe, and it's like, 7 coming into 6 from Volkai. It's like, oh, why don't us two go over here, get rid of these 5, and work that part out later, find a way where we get rid of some of the girls, and then they'll be willing to work with us to overthrow rest of Volkai, all that jazz.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I do think that if Volkai has control, it's going to be crazy gameplay from the merge on, because there's a lot of there's a lot of game players, I'd say, on that tribe compared to the Lairo. And like Tommy, like honestly, he keeps getting this winner's edit. 3 episodes in, and I already think he has that winner's edit.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's sleeper threat.
I don't even think he's a sleeper. I think he's like I feel serious control.
I don't think he's in control. It's more like because Dan is obviously calling shots over there and stuff like that, and then I just feel like he is more low-key about his game. We obviously see more of it because, that's who they're showing.
Well, he seems like, in my opinion, the Boston Rob of the season. Like, he is controlling.
I wouldn't say that conniving, but definitely more like I said.
But, like, power control.
Power control,
He is the one that's dictating the votes, realistically.
And then again, he didn't, Shian didn't really get his way with Molly. In Volkai.
Yeah, but he was still the one who got it over there. He could have easily flipped it back over and got to Nora.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright. So, back to the Island of the Idols.
Oh, yes.
So, I thought this test was interesting.
This was a kooky test if I've ever seen one.
Bro, I like Vince, and I wanted him to get further in this game, but low-key, I kind of wanted him to get caught just to see what the kind of like mind dynamic that would have been.
I also have to say, Elizabeth has gotten screwed because the next 2 tests after her were so easy comparatively. Because this is pitch black darkness. The tribe is asleep.
And the fire was out, so
you just have to get some ash. You literally just have to pick up some ash.
Yeah,
it was not like that difficult.
But I really liked because he started to freak out after he saw his name, and this is coming back to the kind of the character development thing. And then his test was about keeping his cool.
Yeah,
and then he nailed it. He did a great job, and then even when he came back to Tribal, he did keep his cool, kept his hand close to him. That didn't necessarily pay off, which is the ironic part. But he grew as a character.
He unfortunately remained too cool that he didn't play his idol.
Which was unfortunate. But because I really thought he started to come into his own as a player.
I also have to say it was really funny seeing Sandra just go full on boot camp mode, teaching him to do the army crawl,
Oh, yeah, that was
hide
nice.
behind some leaves.
It was like, you might think this is crazy, it looks stupid, but
Yeah.
low-key, it's
Yeah,
like the leaf.
it was. Yeah, and even Boston Rob was just like, Sandra, what are you doing?
I mean, at the end of the day, she taught him well.
Yeah, I mean, did she? I don't know if
For
Vince-
taking the ash and stuff, yes. For not... Well, then again, if we're talking about Tribal, I didn't think he was in danger, really.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, his name was mentioned, but at the same time, like, with Karishma just going crazy and, the girls wanting to keep their alliance together, like, it seemed like, voting out Tom was probably the best choice for them.
Yeah, I really did think it seemed like how the edit was going. Even though Tom hadn't talked a lot, I felt like they were just gonna get rid of him from here.
Yeah.
A lot of times I've noticed in Survivor, the third one out doesn't always get a lot of screen time. They're like the forgotten
Yeah,
person.
people usually remember the first,
Yeah,
unless they've done way too many crazy stuff. Then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
yeah. But typically, like if they think that the third person out isn't like worthy, they'll just kind of not edit them that well.
Yeah, but
But also, Tom's the first Canadian, so I guess I feel like they're gonna try to have at least they'll try to do some edits to make him.
I could have sworn
No,
season 1.
no, he's the first Canadian. They haven't allowed Canadians on until season 35.
I thought. Hold on, because
This is an in fact because they had a whole thing on ET Canada about it.
wait, because I could have sworn one of the originals. I'm forgetting her name, but she was in the first season. She quit in All Stars because of the whole Richard Hatch
Oh,
thing.
Sue Hawk.
Sue, yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't Canadian.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess because her dialect
Yeah.
messed with me.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless.
Yeah, no, I'm like, no, he's definitely the first.
Alright.
So yeah, he's definitely going to get like some edit, probably the episode he gets voted out.
Definitely.
Not a blind vote.
I mean, I think like maybe he might be the next one to go if they want to keep if Lairo is just on a losing streak and then
Mhm.
like they want to keep it strong.
Mhm.
It's like might as well get him.
But
know?
he's a strong guy.
Yeah,
But is he stronger than Dean
the other two.
and Aaron?
I don't-
But Dean was also on the puzzle. Why didn't he get any flack for being on the puzzle? Why did
Because
Karishma?
Karishma made a bigger deal about it.
Yeah,
And I feel like it's all about, I think that's the theme of this episode, keeping your cool. Dean didn't need to. Dean didn't need to be like, oh, I'm sorry about the thing, because Karishma was already like, freaking out and everything. And I think that was part of the reason why, we haven't seen much of him. He's, playing a low-key game right now.
And that's going to get him voted out in the merge.
Probably. But that, speaking of, like, tribal, but before the immunity challenge, it's like, oh, okay, so basically, they have, like, a little swimming contest, and then the balance beam and the puzzle. I did like how they had the Olympic swimmer, and Janet was holding her own.
Yeah.
A little bit behind, like, I'm talking about the actual
the swimming, yes.
Getting
the thing. I was
know,
really sad actually on this.
Yeah. I mean, but the fact, like, she came pretty close when it came to getting to the little bag.
Yeah.
It was like, props to Janet. Just further proving.
Yeah, she had to get some goggles from somewhere. I guess they had some production team, like, right by it.
I think it's there just in case someone needs them or wants them.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, this one, Vokai just came back from behind.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because this is such a mental game. And, Karishma, she just wasn't there today. And then, like, especially mental game for a puzzle. No, that's not gonna. That's not help.
They were really behind on that puzzle. They had a huge lead at looking at it, and they lost it.
I know, and,
and it's not even like they were kind of close to finishing the puzzle. They were like maybe a little.
They were like
halfway.
1-2 pieces in
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah, I think that they were almost at halfway when the other team finished. Like,
Yeah.
that's how long it was taking them.
Just,
Yeah.
I mean,
And, like, honestly, I don't think it was, like, that difficult of a puzzle.
I mean,
It seemed like
not necessarily.
I definitely think the first two pieces were probably the hardest to find.
Yeah, because
but
you
then
kind of
after that,
with something like that that's hanging upside down, you kind of have to build accordingly. You can't really like, if we have like a table puzzle,
you have to go in order.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because it builds upon.
Mm-hmm. But like once you get those first two pieces, like the rest of it kind of.
That's typically how it goes, though.
Yeah.
Once you get your like mojo going, then you just.
But yeah, the other tribe, they literally got those first two pieces like almost instantaneously,
and then
just boom.
Yeah, the momentum of that, and they were able to catch up and win.
Yeah. But I am glad though that we have not had a reward challenge on its own. Because that would take up way too much time.
Yeah.
With Island of the Idols, there would be no time for tribe, like back at camp.
So I guess, like, especially when they have something where it's like a challenge, like if it was Redemption Island or something like Island of the Idols, or like they have these things where it's set aside. Like even when they have like Exile Island, they have like a thing where it's like like it's kind of a reward, but someone goes to exile. They have to like combine it.
Yeah, I'm really curious how it's going to work when they hit merge. How people are going to get sent to Island of the Idols. How that's going to work? Is it just going to still be pick a name out of a bag?
Then, will it even still be a secret?
Oh, I definitely don't think it will be.
Eventually, it's going to come out. I know we'll talk about this way later, but because it would be Vokai's turn to go. Dang, what's her name?
Kelly.
Mm-hmm. She was freaking out. I was like, oh crap, someone's gonna go there and then figure it out and then probably tell the rest of the tribe. But yeah, like because that is something that could potentially what's the right word? Shake up the game once everyone knows. Now it's just something where it's like, all right, they're going there. They might pick up an idol.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised going back to Vince that he didn't say anything to Elizabeth. And maybe try to make
I did find that interesting, because when I was like that, I was like, Elizabeth was all worried about, Vince, but like when Vince came back, he could have potentially used that where it'd been like, she might have an idol, or like,
he could either thrown her under the bus, or he could have tried to maybe form a bond. There could have been an Island of the Idols alliance that could have started happening,
or. I feel like the fun / smart thing could have been, it would have been, all right, he goes to like the guys and maybe Karishma because she's freaking out, and then tell Karishma because she was low-key the one they had to win over, like that he probably has an idol, stuff like that, because like there's a test and stuff, and then like he didn't get it because the thing seem too risky, but if you point fingers in that regard, where it's like, oh, they could potentially have an idol, some people are like, oh crap, because like, oh, they're hearing all this information, let's just cling on to it and go for it, because that seems true, because perception. But when I got back, they were mostly talking about, Karishma and, potentially Tom.
Yeah.
So that's why I was so surprised when,
when it's Vince.
Yeah.
Because the thing was, also in the first episode, it was a very similar situation where Vince was, like, kind of brought up, but, like, not really.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, they're doing, like, the same kind of thing, but this time, no, it actually happened.
Yeah. And, granted, on the surface, it didn't seem like he needed to play the idol. I am wondering what Karishma whispered to the girls. It was like, please, let's vote Vince out.
Yeah, okay, let's go into the whispers, because I've about had it with the whispers.
It's become such a mind game / craziness. Granted, it didn't go out of control.
Yeah. This was, in my opinion, the worst whisper out of all the whispers so far.
To be honest, when I saw Karishma's name 3 times, I'm like, oh, she's going home because she played way too hard.
Yeah.
But then we saw Vince, and then, though, I wonder if Vince played the idol. Like, because if you see people whispering and stuff,
Mhm.
I feel like if you just played the idol and took that as like a red flag and guaranteed him being
Yeah.
safe. Also, I guess, sometimes making sure you flush out the idol so you don't have it later,
Yeah.
it takes the threat away of you having an idol. Playing it when you don't necessarily need it,
Hmm.
but, it also puts you as a disadvantage in the sense of like, oh, he
Yeah.
had a fucking idol.
Yeah. I've also confirmed that idol is only good for the next two, not just his next two tribal councils, but next two overall tribal councils. So
That was his only time.
Yeah, that could have been his only time.
Oh yeah.
So
I guess,
there was very little excuses for him not playing it.
Yeah, I guess other than a souvenir or fake idol down the line.
Yeah, but still, like I think my opinion is if you have an idol like that where it's only good for a little bit, you play it like immediately. I think it's better to play it wrong than to not play it and get voted out.
Yeah, because then it's like, then everyone knows you don't have an idol anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Your threat level suddenly just decreases.
Exactly.
And then literally you can go back and just be like, hey, I just played it just because I just wanted to get out of my hands. So even if you played it wrong, you're still fine.
Low-key, if we ever go on, we'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, exactly. For all you Survivor fans who want to get on the show, I have the strats.
High-level strats from two guys who've been, just watching the show.
Yep.
But, but low-key, I feel Vince... Do you feel he might ever come back in the future?
I think that they might do a pre-merge season where they bring back a bunch of people who have never made the merge.
I have been interested, because I was actually thinking about that earlier today.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm sure there at CBS they throw a lot of themes in there, and I feel like that would be something, I guess, like ratings-wise, would it be, viable?
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one person that's been to the merge, hasn't made to the merge 3 times.
Yeah,
and he's
not coming back.
No. He burned that Survivor bridge.
But we also have to remember there's a lot of seasons now that have a lot of pre-merge people who haven't come back.
In some regards, definitely if they do that, they need to bring back Francesca.
Oh my gosh, that would be
she's
great.
She's notorious for being the one that has never made it so far, for being back twice.
And she gets voted out first.
But yeah, I feel Vince, he definitely had like a journey in his own where he became a better player. It's just that one little mistake cost him.
Yeah. I definitely agree. He shouldn't have gone home. If I were him, I wouldn't have gone home in that situation because you just play that idol now. Just do it.
Just note to self: if you have an idol with a limited amount of time, just play it.
Yeah.
So at the very least, you get the target off your back.
Yeah, that's more important than anything else.
Yeah. All right. So in the next time video, the only thing I remembered was Kelly worried about someone going to the island, and then
I didn't watch the next time this time.
I usually do, but that's the only thing that I really remembered from it.
Okay.
I'm sure Lairo has some shenanigans going on.
Maybe.
Oh wait. So there might be a potential, showmance on Lairo between Dean and
Chelsea?
I think Chelsea, yeah.
Chelsea? Okay.
Which, that might be interesting, but at the same time, love is a dangerous thing in this game. It's only ever worked out once with, Amber and Boston Rob.
Yeah.
But, this was back when people didn't play as hard back then.
Yeah, it was more like, we're all just gonna chill on the beach, survive.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to tribal, we'll vote out someone.
Alphabetically, maybe.
Yeah. Oh my god. Still the best strategy. I want someone to bring that strategy back.
I would love them. I would love someone if they had one say in a vote. Like if it was one person wins and they get to vote out anyone, or they got to a tiebreaker where that was the case. I would love for them to pull a Negan from Walking Dead. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
If I ever get on and I'm in the majority alliance, and I'm definitely going to try to convince my people to vote based off of alphabets. Because that would be so funny.
Bro. That would be interesting nowadays. Like,
Yeah, well, because people are thinking like very strategically, but if you do that,
Uh,
you can kind of avoid some of those like
they might
logical
not.
choices.
Also, they might not think you're as, you know, as much of a threat because you're just doing your own thing.
Mhm.
So that might take you further in the game.
Yeah.
I know me. I have. I know I'm wearing a Captain America shirt, but I'm more like Steve Rogers before he takes the super serum.
You look like him too.
Thank you. That's a little bit of the inspiration for this.
Yeah.
But you know, that would be like my disadvantage. I mean, I'm pretty scrawny and stuff like that, and so you know, my social game and my puzzles and stuff like that would have to be my thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like there are different strategies, and like it also depends on the kind of person you are.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, of like players, we already named Karishma the crap player of this episode.
She definitely gets the LVP.
The LVP.
Yeah.
So the MVP of this one, honestly, I might have said Vince, in the regard of like how much he's grown.
Yeah, but not as a player.
Yeah. No, as a player, but unfortunately, I feel like it was a thing of like, it was hard to predict that he was going home. Because Karishma was making such a big deal, and it looked like, Tom was one.
Yeah.
I might say Vince just because of that, and also, other than Karishma, other than like a few people at Lairo, there wasn't really anyone else getting a lot of love.
Yeah, I'd say that I would probably give it to Tommy, honestly.
Tommy?
Like, he's still just constantly in charge of his tribe, and because I really can't give it to anyone in Lairo. Like, I just can't see me thinking any of them had like a great gameplay this week. Whereas at least with Volkai, they were playing, even though they didn't go to tribal, they were still playing.
All right, fair enough.
So I would give it to Tommy.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, leave a comment about who you think is the LVP and MVP of this week's Survivor.
Also, who do you think is going to go home next?
Probably someone from Volkai.
Maybe if they keep going ping-ponging.
Yeah, I feel like this might be a ping-pong season, and I want that.
I did have this thought. What if whoever goes to the island of the idols, it's actually kind of like one of those curses, where it's like whoever goes there, that's the team that loses.
Yeah. Have you ever done Brant Steel? They have a Survivor simulator, and there's one thing. There's like a glitch sometimes where if someone like goes off to like Ghost Island or anything and come back, they always get voted out.
Ooh.
It's like a weird glitch that happens every now and then.
Interesting.
So the glitch could be happening
in IRL.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Maybe.
Yeah. No. I definitely think Volkai is going next. Maybe Jamal. That would be a huge one. That would be a huge takedown.
Maybe. I think if he keeps playing the way he does.
Yeah, he's not playing a very good game.
No.
He's probably one of the worst game players right now in the season.
Right now, yes. We'll see. We'll know next week.
Yeah. Okay, so tune in next week, and we'll get some more info on Survivor, and we'll let you know what we think about people's stupid moves.
Peace out, everyone.
Yeah, see ya.